You know, Kelly Yang is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of many books for young readers. Her latest one is Top Story, and she's here to talk about it. Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Okay, so tell us about the first front desk novel in this series published 5 years ago.
The first front desk book, which I have right here, was the very first in the series, and it's based off of my childhood experience managing the front desk of a motel with my parents, which I really did in real life, starting from when I was 8 years old. I had to check people in and make sure they were happy. I learned a lot from that experience. It was a huge part of my childhood because we did it for 5 years. And I really wanted to write a story about it and make sure that, my own kids knew how I grew up and they could learn the same lessons of hard work and kindness and treating every customer with respect.
I like that. Now, would you consider the central theme of Top Story specifically in the front desk series in general?
So the central theme, I think, is that you can actually be the person that is in charge of your own destiny. You can be the change that you want to see in the world. You don't have to sit back and wait for things to happen. Because in Top Story, Mia gets an opportunity to go to San Francisco for journalism camp. Except that there's a lot of problems once she gets there, and she doesn't always get all the opportunities that she wants to write her story. She's got all these great stories. She's uncovered so much of the history of San Francisco, and there's so many people that she's met, but she can't seem to ever get a chance to write them at the journalism camp. And so she has to get creative if she wants to get her voice out there, which is definitely what happened to me when I was a kid. I wanted to write stories too, and I couldn't always get them published in the LA Times, which is where I lived in LA, and that was the main newspaper. And so I decided that I was going to start my own newspaper. And this is a copy of my newspaper from when I was little, and I got it printed at Office Depot, and I would distribute it all over town. And it was such a great experience because it taught me to not wait around, to just take action, do something about it. If don't just complain about a problem.
Wow, that's today's young people too. I've been speaking with Kelly Yang, New York's #1 best-selling author of many books, and we've been talking about Top Story from Front Desk series. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thank you so much for having me.